The expectations are high as Season 4 gets underway for the Monterey Bay Football Club. Maxwell Glenn takes you behind the scenes. 2025 promises to be a high-octane campaign for the Crisp and Kelp. Welcome to Playoff Pursuit, turning the tide of Monterey Bay FC.
Welcome into Playoff Pursuit, turning the tide of Monterey Bay FC. We thank you for joining us for this KION News special. Tonight we're going to be talking all things Monterey Bay FC, getting you geared up and ready to go for a new season. But this isn't just any new year. This is the dawn of a new era. And we'll be talking with head coach Jordan Stewart about just that and a whole lot more. We're sitting down with Coach. We're looking ahead to the season and also that home opener just days away. We'll also get you caught up on personnel changes with a lot of moves coming in the offseason. We're going to take a closer look at which familiar faces are on the move and which new faces are set to have a big impact this year. We'll also take a look at how this season is shaping up as the Union look to make that playoff push. Their eyes set on their first ever postseason berth in franchise history, plus we have a major reveal coming up later in the show. But before we get to all that, we first have to see how we got here. We're going to take a look back at all the key moments leading us up to this very point.
The 2024 season was a roller coaster for the Union, one that saw Monterey Bay flirting with a playoff spot at several points in the season, fluctuating in the standings. With the focus set on the postseason, the club's management decided it best to move in a new direction, parting ways with head coach Frank Yallop and assistant coach Ramiro Corrales, the duo responsible for getting it all started. It marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new one, with Jordan Stewart named head coach shortly after. Under new direction, the club saw stretches of strong play, pulling out a potential season-saving stretch in the final matches, but in the end, Monterey Bay FC saw its run cut short in 2024. The playoff fate ultimately out of their hands. Ending the season 8-16-10, 11th in the Western Conference. While the season had its ups and downs, it also brought with it some milestone moments like the 100th goal in club history. A promising sign for what's ahead.
With that season in the rearview mirror, a lot has happened between then and now, leaving a lot of players and a lot of new threats. Now we're going to take a moment, we're going to pivot and look at some key arrivals and departures from an action-packed offseason. It's really something we haven't seen before.
When it comes to off-seasons, Monterey Bay FC had its most active one yet in the club's young history. Following the conclusion of the season, the Union saw more than 15 players depart from Seaside, several trading in their threads for new ones, like former captain Kai Green, who will now suit up with Oakland Roots. Forward Tristan Traeger heading south, repping Orange County now. Anthony Siaha also on the move, the goalkeeper, now playing for Hartford Athletic. Those exits setting up reunion games March 15th, 22nd, and September 13th, respectively. From departures to arrivals, with so many slots opening up, the Union welcomed 14 new players representing 8 different countries. The diversity is an aspect of this new team that head coach Jordan Stewart says will work as an advantage, each player bringing unique aspects to the team in addition to their individual play. Of those new signees, the offense expected to be led by forward Adam Larsson of Sweden. The back line will be anchored by Nico Gordon of England, who was also named captain prior to the start of the new season. And in goal, Nico Campuzano of Spain, expected to lock it down between the pipes. Larsson, Gordon, Campuzano, 3 of the new 14 players comprising the new look squad.
Now when it comes to those new additions, we've seen them in preseason and 1 regular season game so far, but what about the rest of the campaign to come? You've got 14 new players, more returners, only 11 starting spots. Now we won't know for sure until we get into the heat of play, but right now it's looking like 2 front runners to have a major impact on the offense. Adam Larsson and Elijah Paul, both forwards, expected to bring in a lot of goals this season. When it comes to the back line, we have a new captain in that line, Nico Gordon, leading that defense, looking for a defensive shift.
We wanted players here that want to get to the next level, that want to improve, that are hungry to perform. So our model is Monterey Bay Football Club is we want those guys to flourish, right, and do well. So, and that's coaching staff also. So I think we're definitely moving in that direction, and I'm really proud of where the guys are at the moment.
Of those positions, the one to keep an eye on is the goalkeeper position, where we have a three-way run for the starting slot. Nico Campuzano coming in as the favorite, but he's up against Sam Gomez and Dallas Odell, really providing for more competitiveness in play. And it's a tight-knit group, really a bonded group, something to keep an eye on this season.
Obviously the new guys, like Elijah, Wesley, Nico, Larson, Anton, Joel, all these guys, the two keepers, Nico and Sam, doing fantastic. So it's really positive to see that, seeing a different type of player here at Monterey Bay. So yeah, we're really happy. I'm happy, and we're moving in the right direction.
When we come back, we're sitting down one-on-one with Jordan Stewart.
Be sure to stay tuned for a huge reveal this season.
Well, welcome back to the Playoff Pursuit on KION. I'm joined now by head coach Jordan Stewart. Thank you for taking the time today.
Thanks for having me.
And first off, I just got to ask, heading into your first full campaign with Monterey Bay FC, after coming in partway through last year, just what are the emotions coming with this?
No, I think you, as a coach, you always want to start fresh and learn a lot through the back end of last season. A lot of changes, both player-wise and staff-wise. So feel like we've got a good group to compete this season for sure.
And when it comes to those changes, going from a partway through a season to having that full preseason to establish everything, are there challenges and disadvantages that come with both?
No, I think with the amount of changes that we had, it's you want to try and gel as quick as possible. I think we've done that, and I think both players and staff have integrated very well, which is always a plus sign for myself. And I think over time, everyone's professional and working. I think in sport it's a bit more different than maybe corporate life, where you seem that the camaraderie is already there set between everybody, and then obviously now it's just to try and get the finer details of like methodology of how we want to play, the style, the culture, and how we want to set that, and then obviously moving into the season, hopefully getting results and getting a rhythm where we can end up in a playoff position.
And you mentioned that culture and obviously those changes that come along with those new additions. I know it's early on, but how's that culture looking so far, the chemistry next year?
No, I think it's going well. I think when you have a lot of players from different environments and different backgrounds, everyone has a story to tell, right? So I think that's a cool part of the experience of having different talent, whether it's local, whether it's all the way from Australia or other parts in Europe. I think everyone has different cultures, different stories to what have brought them here to now. And then I think if everyone leans on that and kind of has the right mindset to want to push in the right direction, and I think everyone that's come in, and even the guys who were here last year, there's definitely a new sense of I won't say urgency, but a different type of feel coming in. I think you get that with the amount of changes, but I think it's been fantastic.
All right, you got new players, new kits. It's your first full year. I mean, all these different changes, really the dawn of a new era. Seeing it all come together, how special is it to see that?
No, very special. I think when you have changes, and like you said, new kit sponsor, new kit, new different colors, new staff, new players, different ideas. I think it's a lot when you talk about it like that, but I think because of the people we've brought in both on and off the field, I think the evolution has been seamless, which bodes well to obviously progression throughout the season. But I think when you have a good group, not just players and staff, I think it helps benefit the whole ecosystem of Monterey Bay and what we're trying to accomplish moving forward.
So now coming into this year, talking with guys at Media Day, playoffs has been a very big focus of that. Is that something you're kind of communicating of just like that's the expectation this year?
No, I think any time I spoke to yourself or any other media, it has to be the minimum. I think the main reason, obviously, to bring a new coach in is to reach aspirations where they haven't been before, and obviously one of the main ones is to get in the playoffs, right? So I think coming into the fourth season of Monterey, my job is to make sure that's the minimum, and that's was already addressed from when I spoke to the new guys, and also bringing in the guys from last season, and they know that, so they can tell that story to the guys as well, which goes back to my point of having a good mix of the group, and within that you have obviously natural leaders that know the game, know the league, like Dixon, Charlie, like these types of characters can help give that exposure to the new guys. So I think having that mix and delivering the line of wanting to make the playoffs is at the minimum is where for sure we want to be.
And now you talked about that coaching and communicating out there. We see you out there on the pitch a lot, a unique style out there. Does that just help kind of being out there on the field with the guys, really, I mean, running around playing with them?
Yeah, I've always done it. I always try to, I like just playing with the guys and being on the ball, but I think it's just, I don't know, sometimes in my mind I think if I can showcase my energy, then hopefully it seeps through everyone else. And I think, and I'm not saying that's the right way, but that's just the way I operate, as in I want to bring energy. I feel like I'm energetic, quite bubbly, confident guy. But on top of that, I want to show there's times to have fun and times to be serious as well, right? So I think having that mix, but trying to always bring energy, and players are always going to have off days, but I think when you can help, whether it's from you or one of the peers, I think helps those. Maybe before you operating between a 9 and a 6, and maybe it's between like a 10 and a 7.
And it seems like the new players are really receiving that well. A few of them might be concerned about you taking their spot. I talked with a few of them, they were a little like, hey, you could take it.
The thing is, I only could take it for probably 5 minutes. But no, I think like there's a good group of guys. Everybody wants to compete, everyone's fighting for places, and I think everyone realized that there's no concrete spots, which is something that is a good thing for them. Obviously, some of the ones that don't play is not so much, but everyone's going to get a bunch of minutes just because of the nature of the season I mentioned before, right? So many games, then you're going to count injuries and suspensions or whatever it is. But I think it's having that competition and knowing whoever can come in is going to do a great job is a good thing to have.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the time, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Good luck this season.
Thank you.
We'll, of course, be checking back with Jordan later on this season. In the meantime, though, we got to talk about a big reveal coming for this fourth campaign of Monterey Bay FC Soccer, and that is a new show coming to KION. It is Extra Time. You can catch it every Friday night on KION. We'll be bringing you the latest information on your favorite team. On Extra Time, we'll also be breaking down the top plays from the Union. We'll be taking a look at strategy, talking with coaches, and we'll, of course, be getting to know your favorite players better each week. It'll be your one-stop shop for all things Crisp and Kelp, and it's all going to be on KION, the home of Monterey Bay FC.
Stay tuned for more Monterey Bay FC content.
You're watching KION News, the home for Monterey Bay FC.
Well, welcome back. I'm joined now by none other than Grant Robinson and Alex Lara today, our defensive front out here, and just kind of talking with you guys, coming back for another year with Monterey Bay FC. Kind of what makes it different from years past for you guys?
Yeah, I think that the obvious answer is that we have a lot of new players. We still have a good core, so I think this year's just been a bit different in terms of you can really feel the intensity every day, and everyone wants to compete and fight for that spot. So it's definitely been a bit refreshing.
And with those guys, those news guys, what's it kind of like having so many new additions to a team like this?
Yeah, it's always a bit of a adjustment. You know, all these new guys bring their individual skills, you know, different things to the table. So, you know, you're trying to get that whole thing to mesh well, and I feel like we have been doing a good job at that. But yeah, just focused going into the season now.
All right, and now when all those guys come together, and then obviously the core with you guys, what's the chemistry like, and how's that been building it over the preseason?
Yeah, I think it's been really good. Again, I think it's a great group of guys. Everyone's extremely positive, works hard, very humble guys. So I think it's not been too difficult, to gain that chemistry. And I feel like, we're still at, the very beginning of the season. So obviously that's just going to increase the more time we spend together. So yeah.
All right. Now you guys have also been here. Jordan came in last year, partway through. This will be your first full year with him. What's that kind of like as a player going in through that transition?
Yeah, I feel like we kind of went through it, and I think this is something that Jordan does well. He's pretty consistent with the expectations and how you want to train, how we want to play. So I don't think there's been any adjustment for myself. I feel like he was well just for this preseason. I think we had all of the half of last season to kind of figure out, where we stand, what we need to work on, how we're going to go moving forward. So I think it's definitely good to have him in for a whole preseason because he can do a bit more intense work, before the game start. But I think we're, pretty used to it by now and just ready to go.
Is that familiarity something you're seeing out there too?
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of the expectations were laid down last year. So going into this preseason, we kind of already had that foundation laid out for us. And so now we're just able to really focus on the things that he wants to implement for this season, as well as sharpening other things that, we have as individuals. So, that mesh of what he wants from us and what we can provide is something that, we're just trying to really tune into and be as prepared as we can for the start of the season.
With this new group of guys coming into year 4 for Monterey Bay FC, just what type of brand of soccer are you guys trying to put out there?
So I think that we're going to be an aggressive team, a versatile team as well. So a little bit last year we saw that, not every game is going to be an all-out press. Maybe sometimes we'll drop in and adapt a bit to the other team. But I think that that's going to be our biggest strength is our versatility. But look for us to be, trying to dominate the ball and create a lot of chances. But the one thing that, I pretty much can guarantee is that we're going to be intense every game. Every guy that plays will be intense. So.
And talking with you guys at Media Day, obviously the intensity hoping to bring to the playoffs. It seems like that's a common goal for you guys.
Yeah, 100%. It's been our goal for, as long as the club's been around to make playoffs and not just make playoffs and make a run playoffs and, hopefully try and compete for trophies. I feel like that's still the goal for us and it always is going to be because, at the end of the day, that's what we play for and that's what the club wants and, we share that same aspiration of winning titles and being successful in the season.
And now with that upcoming season, you guys got to play in front of those season ticket holders in preseason. Heading into the regular season, you guys excited to play in front of a full house?
Yeah, definitely. You're always excited for the home opener and get back out there in front of the community that supports us. And, I feel like, you definitely feel that as a player when the fans bring the energy and you want to do your best for them and the club. So it's definitely something we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, no, it was a great turnout, I think, last weekend, just for the season ticket holders. So I was impressed and, happy to see that, they're standing by us and I'm expecting some more fans this weekend too, so it'll be cool. But yeah, I'm excited and, we know how much this means to the community. So our goal is to really, make sure that they know how much it means to us as well. So yeah, it'll be a great season.
Now we've talked about the fact that there are a lot of new faces on this team, but this new look team also going to have a new look. Monterey Bay FC introducing not one, but 2 new kits ahead of the new campaign. The new kits are part of Monterey Bay FC's new partnership with Charlie, introducing 2. Now the primary kit is known as the Sea Kit. It's inspired by the iconic and breathtaking rocky coastline that defines Monterey Bay and runs south along the Pacific Ocean to Big Sur. The secondary kit, known as the Crisp Kit, showcases the club's signature crisp blue color, one we haven't seen since its brief use in 2022. It's something a lot of fans have been looking forward to.
I love to see them, on the field, which is going to be good. We got the colour that we all wanted. I think it's a really good, cool design. I'm really excited, and hopefully the fans will love it as well.
On top of all that, one more kit will also be released sometime later on this season, and we'll of course keep you updated right here on KION.
When we come back, Max is going to have another go at a trial. Let's see how he does.
Well, we're almost out of time here on Playoff Pursuit, but if you ever wondered what it's like to be on trial for Monterey Bay FC, you don't have to wonder anymore. I had a chance, actually a second chance, to be on trial. Here's what happened.
So it'll be pretty simple. I'll just have you dribble through these cones right here, and then I'm going to be standing kind of like right on this line. You're going to pass me the ball, and then you can go either direction, and then I'm going to lay it off to you, and then you're going to finish in the goal with your first touch.
Okay.
You got it?
See how it goes.
We'll see. We'll see.
I missed. Nope. That didn't go well.
So how did he do?
Not great. Not great again. I mean, I was expecting to see more improvement this year, but no, probably even worse actually.
Terrible. I think he's just quit. My eyes kind of hurt, honestly, from watching that. There it is. Yep.
Oh, that was the wrong foot. Oh, a little out of breath. It's not quite going to the level I was hoping, but I'm hoping to turn it around.
You mean he hit two good balls maybe, but I don't think he was aiming for there, honestly.
I feel it.
Oh!
There it is.
There we go.
Would you want him on your team?
I think I'd want him as a fan. I think he would be a great fan. He'd Good. Yep. That's it. Finish.
Well, that does it for us on Playoff Pursuit, turning the tide of Monterey Bay FC. We thank you for joining us. Be sure to keep an eye out for extra time this season, and we'll, of course, see you on the sidelines.
tonight. Severe storms sweeping through parts of the Central Coast today, causing more power outages. We'll have an update. And escalating concerns surrounding the fire at the Moss Landing Battery Storage Facility. People wanting the Coastal Commission to do more to help. Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca has been busy tracking the weather conditions today. He'll tell us what we can expect for the rest of the week. And looking back on the historical floods of Pajaro as we mark the second anniversary of the devastating event. KION News starts right now.
Covering the Central Coast, this is KION News Channel 46 at 11 o'clock.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Rain falling throughout the day here on the Central Coast. This is video of the drive through Salinas tonight. Power outages reported throughout parts of the county during the storm, and not to mention also over in Santa Cruz County. People in Santa Cruz also dealing with rain, the gusty winds also mixing up with fog in the mountains. Janelle Mansky and her family moved to the mountains last July, and it's their first winter up there.
It has been crazy. I want to get one of those wind monitors to find out how big the gusts are. We lost part of our fence on the last storm, and then earlier today we lost another part of the same fence that had repairs.
And I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the effects from those storms today. While some benefits to the storm, looking on the bright side here, things look a little more green now. Let's go ahead and check in with Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca to get more on what's happening for tonight, and it looks like more rain out there even for tomorrow.
Yeah, tonight, tomorrow, it was very hectic out there this afternoon. We had severe thunderstorm warnings in both Santa Cruz and Monterey counties. Those have long since expired. In fact, no alerts in place right now across the KION coverage area, but we still have some rain to talk about. The radar is busy out there late this evening. And let's talk about areas right around the bay. That's where we're seeing most of the action right now. We're going to start basically the south half of Monterey Bay here. We've got a pretty good cluster of storms here. You can see them developing kind of over the same area. It looks like there's a little convergence boundary here. So we're not seeing any eastward progression. Last hour we talked about these storms maybe moving in toward Moss Landing. And while we have seen some moisture, it looks like we're still offshore from Marina, still offshore from the peninsula. So this area of convergence may stay just offshore or perhaps drift a little bit farther to the east toward the peninsula and the areas around Marina here over the next half hour or so. And if that does happen, we'll get some heavier rainfall with that as well. Now, we do have one area that's definitely making more progress toward the coast, and that is going to be up to our north here. Another good cluster of heavier cells. This particular line coming through pretty quickly as well, and approaching the Santa Cruz area, at least Santa Cruz County, so probably the north coast here. Davenport, basically off toward maybe Wilder Ranch at the farthest east at this point in time. Heavier showers expected with this, but these are also going to head up into the mountains here over the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. So folks in the 9 corridor here, Ben Lomond, Boulder Creek, even Felton kind of under the gun with these heavier showers coming through. So maybe missing Santa Cruz, but Bonnie Doon, you're going to get a good dose of rain here in about 20-30 minutes or so as these cells come ashore. Now at the moment, not seeing any lightning out there in any of these particular storms, but it is going to be possible through the overnight as we continue to see some showers moving ashore tonight. So what you can expect to hear in your general neck of the woods will be the continued potential of some wet weather here through the overnight hours. And obviously we're going to be tracking that for you. And it's not just rain, there's also some other hazards to talk about as well when it comes to hail potential and even some potential for a snowfall. So as we look at your forecast for the rest of the night, rounds of showers, maybe a few thunderstorms rolling through. I just mentioned snow a second ago. We got to talk about that. That's in the full forecast coming up.
Rain and snow, definitely still wintertime. This week marks 2 years since the Pajaro levee breach, leaving the small town flooded and dozens of homes damaged in the aftermath. The floodwaters came in at a rapid pace overnight from March 10th into March 11th. This is how it looked the next day. Many families meeting with officials day after day to learn the status of their homes after they were evacuated. No deaths were reported, but more than 200 homes suffered major damage or were destroyed. destroyed. Businesses and nearby fields also suffering extensive damage in the aftermath. Repairs to the multiple levee breaches have been underway ever since. The Army Corps of Engineers is in charge of that operation. In recent weeks, the agency had to pause repairs at one of the many sections of the levee because a PG&E undergrounded line was in the way of the project. The Pajaro Regional Flood Management Agency says that issue has since been mitigated.
All this being said, this keeps us on a schedule to have that utility relocation done by the end of May. And it also will ensure that PG&E will send to the Army Corps in writing that they will have that relocation by that date certain, and that's what's required to get that certification.
The agency says if there was no deal in place with PG&E, the repairs on this specific section could take an additional 3 to 6 months. Well, people in Sierra Madre getting ready for once again another potential day of debris flow. Neighbors building temporary walls in front of their homes to protect them from mud. Crews are out clearing out debris basins, which were filled to capacity from February's storm. There's 19 debris basins in place after the Eaton fire.
So I'm just clearing the catch